Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Francisco, and I'm going to briefly talk about my ongoing thesis, ground-actuated airborne wind energy system demonstrator. So, first, the motivation for this thesis. Over the last few years, the airborne wind energy group here at UC3M had developed a flight test rig for the aerodynamic characterization of kites. But it had some shortcomings. The most important ones was that its small size was really restrictive about the kind of kite we could test. Also, we lack control about the angle of attack and the line length of the kite. And lastly, it had no power generation capability, so it couldn't be used to test the real airborne wind energy system objective, that is to produce electricity. This started to change in 2021 when the company 30 Ingenieros started to get involved in the project. We applied for a grant for industrial PhD that we luckily got, and that's why I'm doing this project from November of last year. The objectives of this PhD are firstly to improve the current testbed. So we want to add the capabilities that we were lacking. We want to achieve a good and reliable manual control of the kite. Then we want to develop a closed-loop controller to achieve autonomous operation. And in the meantime, we want to add new sensors to improve the scientific data that we have from this machine. Then we want to use that as a basis for a bigger scale airborne wind energy machine. So we can produce a few kilowatts of power. That also means to make a new electric subsystem from scratch. And lastly, we want this thesis to be useful in the task of promoting airborne wind energy in Spain. So that means obviously to disseminate the results of this research, but also to promote the creation of flight test centers in the country. About what I'm doing for this project, one side of my work is working on LAXA. This is the open source kite simulator that the Airborne Wind Energy Group here has developed over the last few years. Currently, I'm working on an evolution of Kite Elastic to feed it to our current experimental setup and use it to develop our controller. Then the other side of things are obviously the experimental setup. This is the test bench as it is right now. We have changed a lot since the first versions. So we have already achieved the control that we wanted for the manual operation. And all of that, for testing the machine, we have already done a few test flights. Last one was in April for a conference. As you can see here, the test rig is now mounted on a track that we recently acquired, and that allows us to use bigger kites and in much windier conditions than before. Yeah, so far I have presented this work in the Airborne Wind Energy Conference in 2022 in Milano. I was also second author in a paper presented by Ivan Castro at the beginning of this year. And last week, we were at the Wind Energy Science Conference in Glasgow, also presenting this current work. So thank you for your attention. I hope this was 5 minutes. And do you have any questions?